We'll be starting the event in 3 minutes approx. Good evening to one and all present here. I am Rupkatha De, member of Steellun, the official material chapter
I guess you are not audible.
Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible now.
So, good evening everyone. I am Rupkatha De, member of Steellun, the official material advantage chapter of National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. Today, as a part of the flagship event of Steellun, Edge 2020.
I'm not audible.
Katha, think you should recontinue because you are not audible.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So, good evening to one and all present here. I am Rupkatha De, member of Steellun, the official Material Advantage chapter of National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. Today, as a part of flagship event of Steellun Edge 2024, we are here for an insightful session about the future of the software industry. We are thrilled to introduce our speaker, Mr. Saurav Chatterjee. He is the ex-deputy manager at Reliance Jio. He graduated from NIT Rourkela in the field of electronics and communication engineering in the year 2021. Currently, he is pursuing his master's degree from the University of Western Ontario, Canada. Today, we are honored to have him with us to share his experience in the software industry. Now, I would request Saurabh Bhaiya to take over the stage.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Rupkatha, for this lovely introduction. Over my 4 years in NIT Rourkela, nobody must have praised me the way you did. So thank you so much for that. And should I be keeping my camera on or it's okay just with my voice?
Yeah, you can continue with the camera on. It's fine.
Sure. All right, let me know when I'm audible and visible. And a very good evening to all the participants here for Edge 2024. I think the club had started, I think the Steellun Club had started probably in 2020 when we were in our third year. And the few founding members of the club, they were few of my closest friends. I think Raj Manik, you must have heard of him, Soumya Ranjan Swine, Rajna Prayas. So I had worked closely with them, and they used to tell me how they were working hard, to kind of start this club, and to see this progress so beautifully feels good. That something started by my fellow colleagues is now streamlining so beautifully. So good job, guys, on continuing the tradition, and it's truly an honor to be here today speaking about the career in software industry. As to I don't know how much of my inputs would be valuable enough, but over this next 1 hour session, I'll just try to keep it short, sweet, and simple. And it's actually morning in here. It's 9. It's about to be 10 a.m. So, and I'm on like 2 hours of sleep due to some work I was doing last night. So, if some of my statements don't make sense, pardon me. So without further ado, I'll just start my presentation. I'll share my screen. Let me know when it's visible enough. Is it visible, guys?
Yes, Bhaiya.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, before we begin, I just had like a few queries. Like, how many of you are currently in your third year and final year right now? If I could get some kind of a head count. City. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of people out there. Okay. And most of you are pursuing your engineering in the metallurgical department?
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes,
Most of them are from metallurgy.
So I'm not sure if this talk is going to help you guys, because since you guys are interested in the metallurgical domain, do you guys have any interest in switching to the software industry in the future?
Yeah, there are who want to join for sector, like for the software sector, though from being a core branch.
Okay, got it. Yeah, that's a good thing. Switching from one entire stream to something else takes a lot of guts. So yeah, without much further ado, I'll start. So yeah, my name is Saurav Chatterjee. By now you must have known. I completed my BTech in 2021 under Electronics and Communication Engineering. And for the past 2 years, between 21 and 23, I was working in Reliance Jio as a software development engineer. And now I'm pursuing my master's as sponsored by Rupkotha in Western University. So I'll just like give you a basic summary of how my engineering life went, because everything that has happened so far, whatever I'm doing now or whenever I was working, it's really connected with whatever I did with the 4 years of my engineering. So just bear with me, guys. So I just created this roadmap as to all it's like a timeline for all the years and what all that happened in my life. The road doesn't seem to end. The struggle continues. And just like the event edge, I feel like my life has been on the edge as well. So it all started with 2017 by getting an opportunity in Raurkela. I know how big of an opportunity it is, and just like everyone else, I was clueless enough as to what should I pursue and what should I not. And is it okay if I switch in Hindi in between? Like, is it okay for you guys?
Yes, भैया, no problem.
Oh, sure. तो ऐसा हुआ था कि जब हम लोग इंजीनियरिंग में आते हैं तो ये दिमाग में रहता है कि हमें इंजीनियरिंग में घुसना है, जेई दे के एडवांस क्लियर करके, बट कौन सा स्ट्रीम लेना है, किस में आगे बढ़ना है, उसका कोई आइडिया रहता नहीं है. सो वी आर ऑल क्लूलेस एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. एंड आई थिंक सिंस यू गाइज आर ऑलरेडी बीन थ्रू द फर्स्ट ईयर, सो यू नो दैट दीज आर ऑल कॉमन सब्जेक्ट्स. So you can't really make a decision out of it, like which domain to fall under. So that same thing happened with me. I just started my engineering and I had no idea. Software to dur ki baat hai. I was not even sure if I'll survive to the first year of engineering. I was really bad at academics though. Let me point it out, which you guys will get to know later on. So as I started progressing, I had some time where I started to kind of have double, as to say that I had second thoughts about whether engineering is the right field for me or not. And luckily, like the people who started Steellun, the founders, they really helped me to kind of get a grasp of it, do really better in my academics. Or आई थिंक हम जब इंजीनियरिंग आते हैं तो इंजीनियरिंग का एक परसेप्शन रहता है. लाइक मेरे टाइम पे तो था, ऐसा नहीं है कि हमारा जनरेशन बहुत अलग है, बट हम लोग वही वो शाहरुख खान की मूवीज देख के पले बड़े हैं, जैसे स्टूडेंट ऑफ द ईयर कुछ होता है, वो मूवीज देख के पले बड़े हुए. तो दैट वाज द परसेप्शन व्हाइल आई वाज गिविंग माय जॉइंट एंट्रेंस, दैट जब मैं आऊँगा तो गेट्स ऐसे खुलेंगी, मैं बैग लेके अंदर आऊँगा, स्वैग वाला चश्मा रहेगा, लोग घूरेंगे मुझको. एंड द पोलर ऑपोजिट हैपेंड. Nobody really cared where I came from. So yeah, this was it. Like, these were my expectations that something, that charming and beautiful would happen, something that would blossom. But in reality, it was just completely different and it was disappointing. But I think that really grounded us. So by now, I think we all know कि एक zone वाला फंडा तो है. I hope अभी भी रह रहा होगा. The zone thing really helps you guys, like it really helps to bond with people, bond with your seniors, but sometimes it can go over the board. So those things really help me to be grounded, to understand the actual scenario of what engineering stands for. And as I started proceeding further, I started realizing that all the events that are happening, be it NITR, Innovision, Vriddhi, MUN, I started closely associating myself with those events, just as to stay organized, just as to stay focused. Most of it because I was more of a recluse guy. I didn't know like how to interact with people, how to really speak to people. So this events, interaction with people, managing really helped me to come out of the box. But it had its own disadvantages. Like I think आप लोगों को पता ही होगा समर का जो सेमेस्टर रहता है. And in my first year, I had approximately 5.25 CGPA. Like 3-4 सब्जेक्ट में मेरा बैक आ गया था. And I was not sure if I will stay in this university at that point of time. But somehow that summer semester, those 2 months, May and June, those 2 months really gave me a perception of what I really want to achieve, which domain should I get into, and what is my calling. That was the moment when I realized that I was on the edge, and this is going to continue. This is like a curse that will continue, but now I need to get my life back on track. So वो जो summer का semester था, that I felt like was my awakening to realize that maybe software is the field where I will fall. But since my domain was electronics and communication in NIT Raurkela, तो वहाँ पे programming का उतना scope था नहीं, and it were mostly subjects that were inclining towards core. इलेक्ट्रिकल मशीन्स, डिजिटल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स ऐसे सब्जेक्ट्स थे, तो प्रोग्रामिंग का कुछ ऐसा था भी नहीं सीन। तो अभी अगर मुझे सॉफ्टवेयर में जाना भी होगा तो मैं जाऊंगा कैसे, क्योंकि सब्जेक्ट्स तो है नहीं। एंड और ऐसे कहे कि तभी कंप्यूटर साइंस का ऑलरेडी कंपटीशन इतना बढ़ रहा है। सो दैट वाज द टाइम व्हेन आई रियलाइज्ड दैट it's there is this unique ecosystem that lies in NIT Rourkela, where people of different branches, different fields can come together and create something so beautiful. अगर कोई CS का बंदा है, या फिर कोई एक इलेक्ट्रिकल का है, या फिर कोई सेरामिक का है, या फिर मेटलर्जी का है, you know, all of them, if they have a passion and if they come under the same roof, they can create something beautiful. They'll learn something that will stay forever. And that's what exactly happened. So first year all went, you know, just to recover the academics. Like तभी तो कुछ मतलब दिमाग में था भी नहीं कि सॉफ्टवेयर में जाना है कि यहाँ पे जाना है। तब ये था कि कैसे हमें यूनिवर्सिटी में सरवाइव करना है। तो somehow जब समर सेमेस्टर क्लियर हो गया सही से, and like my CGPA went above 6 and all, so that's when I realized that no, now I have to get back. And that's when I started creating out of a circle or software, to say so. And since all of us were at ground zero, तो हमें सबको पता था कि हमें कोई नॉलेज है नहीं इस चीज की, कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है, कैसे करना है, कोई ऐसा हाथ पकड़ के दिखाने वाला भी नहीं था। So that was the time when we realized that we need help there's a wonderful thing called seniors. Seniors are the most important blessings over the course of the 4 years. अगर आपके seniors के साथ अच्छे ताल्लुकात हैं, bonding है, I'm sure you're gonna be having an upper hand. So I started getting to know my seniors, like be it of my clubs, because I was associated with different clubs. I was part of Cyborg, I was part of Asra, a fashion club as well. So there I met different seniors from different streams, and I started getting to know them and to understand what are the future prospects, कहाँ से start करना है, कहाँ से नहीं करना है. So it kind of gave me a head start. And as like my second year started progressing, I had to obviously keep my academics on track. वो तो अगर वो पटरी से निकल गया, so it would be really difficult for me. You know, software तो छोड़ दो, मतलब ऐसे कोई ऐसा नौकरी भी नहीं मिलने वाला है. So I had to really make sure that the academics stay strong, and my participation in events continue. But at the same time, I need to start focus on the domain. So second year was my calling. I realized that that's when I started to finally realize that what my actual profession can be and where can I actually head. Third year basically really, like I guess आप लोगों का भी ऐसा रहा होगा, like third year is the time when you guys have to you need to do your internships. I think there are 2 internships. One is in some winter and there is a summer. So, and for that, most people are clueless. So this is a slide I just made, like just depicting my CGPA. Like it's not that good, and I didn't keep it 10 here just to satisfy my ego, or else it would have looked really bad. So yeah, this was my final CGPA, approximately 7.65. So from getting from 5.25 to 7.65 was a hell of a task, but I think the journey has been worthwhile. Got to know a lot of things. There were a lot of hiccups in the way, but I think जैसे कि आप लोगों के इवेंट का नाम एज है, तो उस एज में रह के बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है. अभी भी वो सीख रहा हूँ. जो चीज़ें सीखने को मिली थी वो इनको अभी भी इनकॉर्पोरेट कर रहा हूँ मैं लाइफ में. So yeah, getting back on the point. So internship was something that we were clueless about, क्योंकि internship की जो companies होती हैं वो बहुत कम आई थी उस टाइम पे. It's not that there were not too many companies, there were companies, but the competition was really high. And अगर किसी को सॉफ्टवेयर डोमेन में जाना हो, या किसी को अगर कंप्यूटर साइंस वाले जो फील्ड है उसमें जाना हो, क्योंकि कंप्यूटर साइंस के अलग बच्चे हैं, उनके आई थिंक अप्रोक्सीमेटली देयर वर 100 स्टूडेंट्स देयर. And then we in EC were like 80 students. Electrical had separate section of students. And then other students like be it metallurgy. There were a few friends of mine from metallurgy who wanted to get a software domain. So, unka bhi ek tha. So there was a lot of competition and opportunities were sparsely less as compared to what placement opportunities are. So at that time, I realized that maybe जो on campus internship opportunities है वहाँ से शायद मुझे नहीं मिलेगा. So what I did is that I started approaching companies. Like I started mailing them. And yeah, before that, I also realized one thing that if we want to get into a specific domain and we don't have much knowledge, like it's applicable for metallurgy as well, because since you guys are studying something really different, it has nothing to do with computer science. तो ऐसा कुछ experience तो रहना चाहिए, experience हो, knowledge हो जो आप दिखा सको, be it in the form of project या फिर कोई research work या फिर कोई paper. तो उसमें क्या होगा कि जो आप जिस कंपनी को या फिर जिस यूनिवर्सिटी के साथ आप टाई अप करना चाहते हो, they would know that you are dedicated to it. तो उसके लिए from my second year, I started working on certain projects on machine learning, on home automation. Home automation was my domain. So I should like many projects for home automation with the inclusion of software engineering as well. कि एक छोटा सा smart sensor है, उसको हम mobile application के through कैसे control करें. It's a very small project, but I got to learn a lot of things. So I made that miniature project, and then there was one based on machine learning detection of human beings based on the YOLO architecture. You only look once, जो computer vision का एक algorithm है. So when I was starting to incline myself through projects and research work, I approached Sony. Like I asked them that these are the projects, these are things that I've been working on, and these have been my subjects in my curriculum, and I would love to associate as an intern for 2 months. And by now, if you don't know, I was a DASA student. तो आप लोगों को अगर पता हो DASA student के बारे में, तो you would know. I won't say this, but you would know that we are pretty weak in academics initially. So हमें उतना knowledge था नहीं. So first year के बाद ही समझ में आया कि कैसे आगे बढ़ना है, नहीं बढ़ना. So since I belong from Malaysia, so there was this company there, Sony. Like it was an extension of Sony. They were specializing in home automation at that time, and they were hiring for interns. So I kind of approached them directly. I kept on mailing them again and again and again because there were too many applications that go. Like आज भी I think ये applicable है. Like for every recruitment, I think probably companies receive like 50 applicants every day. Like it's very least like 100 applicants, 200 applicants. So in that scenario, you have to keep like expressing your interest. You have to keep expressing that you are genuinely inclined towards this line of work and that you really want to work and dedicate yourself to it. So I kept doing that, and by the grace of God, I got the call from Sony, and this was for summer 2020. ठीक है, ये just before COVID का जो आतंक फैला था. So things were perfectly set up. By March, I already had my offer letter, and I got my clearance letter from university as well that I can go to Malaysia and work for 2 months as an intern. And then the COVID came in, and जैसे COVID आया, सारे जैसे बंद हो गए, and it was all remote based. And that's when I started realizing कि यार ये अब कैसे होगा. Even Sony had stopped like kind of reverting back. So I was a little bit lost at that time, let's say. Like for 2 months, I was like April, May में start होने वाला था internship, but still now I'm yet to receive any reward from them. Now how should I do it? So I started in that time. I contacted my professor, Mr. Subrata Maiti, who was my faculty advisor and a wonderful human being, and he really helped me out over the 4 years of my curriculum there. He really laid down the stepping stones for me and has been pretty much instrumental in wherever I am right now, which is not too much, but still. So he kind of told me कि अभी मौका है और सीखने का. जितना हो सके आप प्रोजेक्ट पे काम करो, कोर्सेज पढ़ो, यूट्यूब से हो, कोर्सेरा से हो, फिर बाकी जो भी आपके जो कोर्सेज होते हैं वो आप लीजिए, लिंक्डइन में जो कोर्सेज होते हैं वो लीजिए, खुद को अपडेट करो, नॉलेज गेन करो और साथ ही साथ प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम करते रहो, क्योंकि नॉलेज की कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं होती। ये लाइन थोड़ा ड्रामेटिक था, बट इट्स ट्रू। देयर इज नो एक्सपायरी डेट फॉर दैट. It will stay with you forever. Yes, the opportunities that you get might get delayed due to some unforeseen circumstances. But if you're gaining something in that tenure, वो आपको सारी जिंदगी भर हेल्प करेगा. So luckily, for 2 months, I started realizing that okay, it's fine. If I'm not getting the internship, it's fine. But I'll utilize this time. Because तभी क्या था, examinations भी नहीं थे. ठीक है, एग्जाम का कोई प्रेशर नहीं था. लकीली सबको पास कर दिया गया था. सो आई मीन इट वाज एन अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट व्हाट हैपेंड ड्यूरिंग कोविड. लॉट ऑफ अस लॉस्ट प्रेशियस पीपल, बट academically it really helped us out. And finally, in the end of May, I got the reward from Sony, and it was a remote based job. So I was working there as an intern, where I had to as in the home automation industry. आप लोगों, मुझे नहीं पता अगर होम ऑटोमेशन के बारे में आपने पढ़ा होगा, बट इट्स मोस्टली अबाउट द ट्रांसफर ऑफ पैकेट्स. अगर कोई सेंसर हो लेट्स से, या फिर कोई स्मार्ट कैमरा हो, उसको अगर हमें कंट्रोल करना हो तो उसके लिए हमें डेटा पैकेट्स ट्रांसफर करने होते हैं. एंड हाउ डू वी कैप्चर देम? तो उसका एक मैकेनिज्म रहता है वायर शार्क. थोड़ा टेक्निकल हो गया बात. इफ समबडी वांट्स टू नो मोर अबाउट इट, दे कैन कॉन्टैक्ट मी फॉर श्योर. So that was my work there, to analyze the packets, how are they being transferred, and integrating it with a programming language. So programming language अभी कौन सा करें? So the one language that I did stick to from the initial days was Python. अभी भी I still work on Python. Like now, obviously there are more and more integrations that are happening in C, Java. But I still feel that there is no replacement of Python, and it will still stay on the top. So that really helped me out, that internship. I feel that that experience kind of helped me in my proceeding years. So yeah, that was one experience. And apart from that, as I was saying, that communication before, and that is also very important in proceeding further. Communication as in like how we interact with people and how we kind of pitch things. So I did a very brief stint at IIIT Kanchipuram during the summer of 2019. It was more like a startup जहाँ हमें हमारे आइडियाज पिच करने थे and एक प्रोटोटाइप डिजाइन करना था. Okay guys, in between, if you guys feel bored, feel free to shut me up, okay?
No way, it's interesting. You can continue.
Alright, thank you. चलो कोई एक तो है जो इसको इंटरेस्टिंग मान रहा है. Thank you.
It's really interesting to know about your story.
Okay, thank you so much. So yeah, coming back to IIIT Kanchipuram. So there we had to design a prototype, and if that gets selected by the committee members, so we get to go to factories, pitch them up, and like उसके बाद एक startup वाला एक हो सकता था माहौल. So we designed a clothing. That clothing is more of like it will have coolers inside. Like जो factory workers होते हैं, they work in coal mines. Like आप लोग metallurgists, तो आपको पता होगा कि factory workers go through some really hassling environments, right? And during summer it's drop dead hot. So some people collapse in heat, some people have strokes. So just to avoid that, हमने एक ऐसा एक jacket design करा था, एक clothing, which would some kind of just it's a system that will incorporate the cooling methods. Like एक fan रहेगा, and that fan will be attached to a battery, and it will keep on running. वो battery rechargeable रहेगा, and we in 3 weeks of time we designed that prototype. And mind you, I had no clue what startup is, what incubation is, because I know Steellun stands for incubation. The the initial people who were associated, they were geeks about startups. उनको मतलब छोटी छोटी ideas जो रहते हैं वो उन पे डेवलप करते थे, उनको निहारते थे. मुझे उसका कुछ आइडिया नहीं था. तो जब ये एक मौका मिला, I started realizing that there is a creative mind. हर किसी में creative mind रहता है. And कौन सा पार्ट रहता है, लेफ्ट साइड या राइट साइड ऑफ द ब्रेन which is creative? I think it's the left side, right?
Yes, pair left side.
Left side, yeah. So the left side of the brain is always creative. It's just that we're not utilizing it. So we started iterating the business ideas, like who will be our target audiences and what should be our initial capital investment and this and that. That way, I realized that communication matters a lot. How we pitch to people, how we speak, how we present ourselves. So obviously, knowledge is extremely important. And the second thing is presentation. If you know how to express your knowledge, if you know how to make sure that the other person that you're having a conversation with be intrigued in you, तो communication skills को भी थोड़ा सा improve करना बहुत जरूरी रहता है. But that's what I learned. The thing did get passed, but उस टाइम पे ऑलरेडी एक दूसरी जो कंपनी थी, फॉरेन कंपनी थी, वो इसी एक सिमिलर टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम कर रही थी, तो हम आगे नहीं बढ़ पाए. दिल बड़ा टूटा था यार, क्योंकि इस पर हमने बहुत मेहनत करी थी. हम लोगों को लग रहा था कि शायद हम अगर वो काम कर जाता तो शायद हम शार्क टाइम पे आज एक एज अ शार्क बन के बैठे होते. तो हाँ, बहुत बुरा लगा, बट स्टिल दैट वाज एन एक्सपीरियंस एंड दैट रियली हेल्प्ड मी इन माय सेकंड इंटर्नशिप लाइक फॉर द सोनी, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जब इंटरेक्शन हो रहा था, आई न्यू हाउ टू, I would say that I knew what to say and what they were expecting me to say, what they were expecting from the candidate. So that really helped me out. So yeah, these are some of the tips for internship that I feel, and it's not just restricted to software profile. Like it's like for everything. And by now you guys are smart enough. You guys are NITians, so you already know that आप लोग तो भी कर भी रहे होंगे companies and universities को. Keep on mailing them. Keep working on some domain that you like, and क्योंकि ये software के ऊपर talk है, so I'll try to give you some basic idea about like what software that we should be working on and what's really booming in the industry. But try speaking to your seniors, and not just like seniors from your department, from other departments as well. आप में से अभी कुछ लोग senior हो गए होंगे final year में, so you guys are responsible for guiding your juniors. Don't disappoint them, and try taking up online courses. I mean, आप YouTube पे जाइए, एक वहाँ पे वेबसाइट है फ्री कोड कैंप नाम से. They have this 8 hours of an entire 8-hour course, a beginner level course, advanced level course on Python, machine learning, Java, and they're really good. Like they'll give you certain small examples how to design a code. They'll give you a problem statement, how to solve them up. So those are really helpful.
Yeah. Can you rename the website?
It's called Free Code Camp. I'll just write it here. कहाँ पे है यार ये लिखने का जगह? हाँ, कोड कैंप. एक बंदा है यार, 8-9 घंटे वो पढ़ाता ही रहता है. He doesn't even take a break. आप लोग ब्रेक ले लेके पढ़ना, take 2 days, 3 days, but yeah, it's really helpful. Someone has commented, J. Kishore, getting to know too many things from your experience. Thanks a lot. You're welcome, Kishore. Glad to know that it's helping you out. Even if it's a lie, it's good to know. So yeah, do you guys have any other question?
But yeah, once you're done with the presentation, we can have an interactive session and they would be asking the questions.
Sure. All right. Perfect. So I'll just proceed further. Yeah, before this, yeah, after internship, obviously that's the final year thing. Placement, I think, हर कोई उसकी पीछे भागता है अभी. If not placement, it's masters. So that was another phase of our lives, because it was the COVID period, and all of us were kind of expecting that during the COVID, the frequency of companies that come every year is very high till 2019. But due to the COVID, because there were a lot of layoffs that were happening on LinkedIn. Like 500, 600 employees are getting laid off over the course of entire, like एक दिन में हो रहा है. So we were kind of skeptical that yeah, this time companies आएंगी कि नहीं? What are we going to do? And luckily, we have to give it to our placement coordinators and the people who are in the placement committee. They made sure to bring each and every company that came in the preceding years. And they made sure to bring even much more number of companies, obviously with high package and salaries. So they did a fantastic job of making sure that every student gets they get the stage to perform, to appear for an interview, to appear for an examination, to get selected for an interview, and they were relentlessly trying hard कि जितने भी बंदे हैं एक डिपार्टमेंट के उनको सबको मिल जाए जॉब. बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली 4 साल में मुझे एक मेरे सीनियर ने बोला था कि तुम अगर आए हो NIT राउरकेला में तो एक नौकरी लेके ही जाना, क्योंकि मार्केट जो है वो कैपिटलिस्टिक है एंड एक इन्वेस्टमेंट तो ऑब्वियसली है 4 साल का. सो सिक्योरिंग अ जॉब इज आई एम नॉट डिस्कार्डिंग एनीबडी if somebody is not interested in a job, if somebody is in masters, but if someone's really thinking of securing a placement, go for it. Like, work hard. And there are things that really helped me in securing a placement were my projects, my final year, like my third year internship experiences that really helped. Programming languages, like one of the projects that I worked upon was on radar. Radar is like आप लोगों को पता ही होगा, it's a part of the microwave technology. So it was more about कि जो landmines होती हैं जो बिछाई जाती है तो उनको जो हम डिटेक्ट करते हैं, like if they're in an enemy base and if somebody is infiltrating it, so how would somebody detect those landmines? So we use this device called ground penetrating radar, and that kind of just emits the signal which gets reflected on the landmine and then comes back to the receiver. So that was one project that I worked upon with my faculty supervisor, Mr. Subrata Maiti, and that was my final year project, and that really helped me to get my job, by the way. And apart from that, I was working on another machine learning project since my third year that I was speaking about, the YOLO technology पे. तो ये दोनों पे काम पैरेलली चल रहा था, एंड साथ ही में जो इंटर्नशिप था वो भी हेल्प करा, बट फिर भी वो काफी नहीं था. ऑनेस्टली कहूँ तो लाइक कंपनीज आनी स्टार्ट हुई थी जुलाई 2020. आई डोंट नो अगर आप लोग 24 के बैच हो तो 2020 में आप लोगों ने स्टार्ट किया होगा, तो हाँ आप लोगों के ज्वाइन करने के पहले की बात है ये. तो कंपनीज आ रही थी बट कोई सिलेक्ट नहीं कर रहा था इनिशियली, जून जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर. और जो पहली कंपनी थी जिसने रिक्रूट करा था NIT से, वो करा था एक मैकेनिकल के बंदे, सॉरी मेटलर्जी के बंदे को, कौशल जैन. ही इज नाउ एन MBA ग्रेजुएट बाय द वे, terrific student. And that company, I don't remember exactly what company it was, but it was a really good company. I had even appeared for it. Obviously I didn't get selected after the coding test, but not a coding test, I think it was like a marketing, it was like a quant test. Yeah, it was a quant test, and that was the first company. तो दिल बहुत टूटा यार कि पहले ही कंपनी में बैठे, वहाँ पे सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ, एक के बाद एक कंपनी दे रहे हैं, हो ही नहीं रहा. जब दोस्तों का होने लगता है तब और तकलीफ होती है. It's not because you are in a covered situation, but it's like if we started together and somebody else is getting it, why can't I? But you don't give up, you keep on going. So for 3 months it was a relentless hard work, just like honing my programming skills, working on questions. I think by now you all would know the website Geeks for Geeks, and then there is a website called Stack Overflow, which is one of the best websites I have encountered so far. Like it's like the Bible for programming questions. Like दुनिया का कोई भी सवाल हो, आप उसको डाल दो, solution आपको मिलना ही मिलना है. So that this too really helped me out. So over the course of those 3 months, I also got depressed. एक तो कोविड का टाइम था. I had lost somebody very near to me. दोस्तों का placement लग रहा था, मेरा लग नहीं रहा था. It was a turbulent situation. I think everybody goes through this once in a while. And it was a confused state of, I was in a confused state of mind, but as they say that good things take time. I would like to believe that was a good thing, obviously, but the first company that I sat for, that I actually got selected for was Nokia, but interview round में मेरा कट गया. दूसरा एक कंपनी था एनालॉग डिवाइसेस, उसमें मेरा कट गया था इंटरव्यू राउंड में. सो दिस आर टू कंपनीज दैट आई वेंट फॉर द इंटरव्यू. लाइक देयर वर टू कोडिंग राउंड्स एंड देन द इंटरव्यू. सो इन द इंटरव्यू आई वाज discarded, but still I was getting selected now. And then came Reliance Jio. They were looking for a graduate engineer training in the software field as it like कि home automation का जो market है, they wanted to create applications for that. Applications as in like for third party consumers, उनको they will sell their solution that these are the home automation devices that you have. Will create a portal for you. Will save your data, the total number of devices that are getting sold every day, the number of devices that are online, offline, how many of them are working properly, how many are not, creating graphs based on that. That was their job description. हमें तो भाई उतनी कोडिंग आती नहीं थी, but still like I gave my best. पहला कोडिंग राउंड था and it was a pseudo code round. My pseudo code is mostly in C. उसमें क्या होता है कि आपको एक कोड का स्निपेट दिया रहता है and you have to identify the error or the output. What's wrong with the code? Either you have to say that or what would be the potential output of that code. थोड़ा सा अगर आप stress करेंगे, so you'll be able to crack them. And I'll tell you, pseudo codes are the best things to happen. Like, इसमें कि आपको कोड लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस आपको समझना होगा, आपको परख करनी होगी कि वो उसमें उसका आउटपुट क्या हो सकता है. एक पैटर्न रहता है pseudo code का basically. And if you go online and if you select 60 pseudocode questions for placement, they'll really help you. Questions बहुत similar रहते हैं. Sorry, I just feel that I'm having a dry voice. I'll just have a little bit of water. If you guys want to have something, you can have it. 8:30 बजने चले, किसी का डिनर का टाइम हो गया होगा. Okay, so yeah, that was my work experience. So yeah, coming back to it. So there were two coding rounds. One was, as I said, the pseudocode round that went really well. And along with that, there was a quant round. So both I was able to clear them out. And after that, there was an actual programming round. जहाँ पे there were questions based on data structures, arrays. And mostly, you know, with data structures, people say that it's better if you use C. और I didn't know C. तो मैंने वही किया जो एक समझदार इंसान को नहीं करना चाहिए. I went with Python and I started coding in Python. I was not unable to, you know, kind of just get the hang of it. But I kept on doing it. And to my horror, I found out that I got selected in the second round as well. मुझे लगा ये तो चमत्कार हो गया. एंड तभी दशहरे की छुट्टी भी थी. हाँ, आई थिंक दशहरे की छुट्टी रहती है 1 हफ्ते की, 1 हफ्ते 10 दिन की रहती है. तो तभी छुट्टी भी थी. मुझे लगा कि यार ये क्या हो गया, लाइक हाउ कम आई गॉट सिलेक्टेड इन द सेकंड राउंड एज वेल. नाउ द एक्सपेक्टेशन स्टार्टेड राइजिंग. आई स्टार्टेड, सो नाउ द थर्ड राउंड वाज ऑब्वियसली द इंटरव्यू राउंड and I was honestly not prepared because बाकी दो में already, you know, I was not selected. So my moral boost kind of went like to zero again. Like whatever I had boosted myself through podcasts, through experiences, through Ranveer Alubada videos and this and that, from interaction with seniors, none of them are working anymore. तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि यार अब तो कोई उम्मीद रही नहीं. So in that situation, there's one thing that's very important, is that never lose hope. And that time I realized that, you know, life may, if you want to achieve something, it's not just about software, about in life. There are 3 P's that you should always remember. One is patience, one is persistence, and the third one, and the 4 most important, is practice. Never stop practicing. And patience is extremely important. Yeah, you might not be getting to the end result. You might not be seeing a future tomorrow. कि मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, नहीं हो. You need to have the patience. And the persistence is extremely important. कि नहीं करना ही है, करना होगा. जब आप सोचो करना होगा तभी आप उसको प्रैक्टिस के फॉर्म में इनकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हो. So that's when I realized that these 3 P's are very important. And I had my backing of the seniors. I had my friends who were helping me out. Not in the coding round, but like how to prepare for the coding round. Yeah, कैसे questions को approach किया जा सकता है, ये वो. So the interview finally happened and I got selected. They had asked me a very simple question. It was not data structure question, it was a basic Python question about calculation of 2 numbers, like creating a calculator that can perform addition and subtraction. A very simple question, by the way. And there is an array of numbers and you have to print the numbers in a reverse order. I was able to solve both the questions. And there was this last question, which was a tough one. I don't remember them exactly. And I was a little bit dissatisfied that maybe this question इसकी वजह से मेरा कट जाएगा फिर से. So I didn't have any hope. I was like कि छोड़ो. I went till this much. Interview, I cracked the interview, like, you know, the interview was really impressed with my answers. He had asked me like तुम्हारा previous experience क्या रहा है, and I told him that it has been about home automation. And then अच्छा ठीक है, बताओ क्या है home automation के बारे में. So I said whatever I knew, how to integrate it with Python, what were my final projects. And I did a little bit of research on what they were looking for. So here's the thing, आप जब किसी जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हो या किसी इंटरव्यू के लिए बैठ रहे हो, डू योर होमवर्क कि वो कंपनी का रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, वो कंपनी करती क्या है. दैट एक्चुअली मेक्स एन इम्प्रेशन ऑन देम. सो आई हैड ऑलरेडी डिड माय बैकग्राउंड रिसर्च एज टू व्हाट दे डू. एंड तो मैंने भी मेरा थोड़ा सा झाड़ना शुरू कर दिया कि आपका कंपनी ये करता है, आई एम रियली इंटरेस्टेड अबाउट दैट, मैंने ये करा है, दिस कैन रियली इंटीग्रेट. तो उनको थोड़ा सा मैं बातों में उलझा रहा था. एंड द पर्सन वाज रियली a really nice person, he didn't intimidate me. He gave me time to really work on my questions. His name was Mr. Santosh Sinha. I still remember him. And yeah, what happened and the interview ended. But I was still like a little bit dissatisfied that maybe I won't get through the interview. But destiny had other plans, and luckily I still remember दशहरे के अगले दिन एकादशी की रात थी, विसर्जन हो रहा था और मैं गया था मंदिर. I was still unsure if I'll get it. Like I was totally sure that I won't be getting it. So I came back. I hadn't opened my WhatsApp. I think WhatsApp में आप सबका एक ग्रुप रहेगा प्लेसमेंट के लिए. So where they congratulate people if somebody gets in. मैंने उस ग्रुप को म्यूट पे डाल दिया था 3 महीने के लिए. या सबका लग रहा है, मेरा नहीं लग रहा, कितना कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करूँ लोगों को. And then suddenly I started realizing कि congratulations आ रहे हैं और सब लोग मेरा नाम टैग कर रहे हैं. ओपन रहना सी कि यार सबसे ऊपर मेरा नाम रख दिया है, सौरभ चैटर्जी, या फिर followed by the other few of my other colleagues, and one of them was from metallurgy as well, a very very talented person. So I was like यार ये कैसे हो गया. It was overwhelming. I was not expecting it first of all, and thankfully that was my first job that I cracked, and I'm thankful that it happened through via placement committee. Because the placement had worked extremely hard to make sure that every candidate gets at least one job. कुछ लोगों को तो 2 या 3 जॉब्स मिली थी उस टाइम पे. आज तो कंपनीज की जो संख्या वो बढ़ गई है. तो yeah, that was it. So this was like one chapter. ठीक है. और I think by now final years would already know that once you get your placement, उसके बाद वाइवा रहता है. वाइवा ठीक है, you can crack वाइवा. And then you have your final project submission, thesis written. So those things are like an icing on the cake once you crack a placement. So that was about it. But I was skeptical as to, since I still am not proficient enough in software, ये सॉफ्टवेयर है क्या. Like लोग बोलते हैं कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग है, सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोग्रामिंग है. What actually is software? What is it doing? What are the solutions it is providing? I still had those questions. So once I got the job and when I started, there was a good gap of like 9 months for completing the BTech studies and everything. So parallelly, I started kind of prepping up myself for that big day. कि एक ना एक दिन जब जॉब में जाऊंगा उनको पता चलेगा कि इसको ज़्यादा आइडिया तो है नहीं, ये तो बस ऐसे ही बातें बोल रहा था. So I kind of had to really brush myself with the skills. So that's when I got to see that it's a vast cognition of technologies that have combined together. And by vast ocean, I can say that software is not just a technology, it's like everything in today's time. कोई भी छोटा सा एक सोल्यूशन हो, आपका जो फोन का ऐप है उसका एक सोल्यूशन है, वो अगर आप कभी उसको अगर थोड़ा बहुत अगर यू मेस अप विद इट, यू विल रियलाइज कि उसका जो इंटरफेस है वो क्या है, उसका जो यूआई डिजाइन है वो कैसा किया गया है, जो डेटा आ रहा है. लाइक जोमेटो का अगर आप एप्लीकेशन पकड़ लो, जोमेटो का इतना इतना डेटा आता है, वो लोग लोकेशन को कैसे ट्रैक कर रहे हैं, कौन सा एपीआई आता है जिसकी वजह से जो डिलीवरी बॉय है उसको एग्जैक्ट लोकेशन पता चल जाए कि मुझे भैया यहाँ पे जाके खाना डिलीवर करना है. There is so many things to explore in that context. So that kind of really intrigued me about it. It was intriguing. But still, I was still kind of laid back कि ठीक है अब जॉब लग गया है. So once I get my first, when I start working, I'll try to kind of consume more knowledge as I start working. So that went backseat. And बस आफ्टर दैट वन लास्ट टाइम जो होना है होता है. देन एक दो महीने तो मतलब पढ़ाई तो हम भूल ही गए थे, बस मतलब मौज मस्ती सब चली. एंड दैट वाज नीडेड फॉर अस बिकॉज फॉर ईयर और सो वी वर ऑल स्टेइंग एट होम. तो एक साल बाद मिलना, that was a big thing because all the last year memories, like because we didn't get to live those days. You guys are lucky, the final year guys, and you guys getting to live it. For us it was just like a month or two of uniting again. So हम लोग सब कुछ भूल चुके थे. But at that time, I was, since I was working on my master for my project, final year project, I started gaining this interest about research. Like ये थोड़ा सा मतलब ड्रामेटिक लगेगा कि यार ये रिसर्च क्या है, but like there is this thing about like just going deeper and deeper into it. Like there is this question, how can we kind of extrapolate things, how can we unbox something, and is there something new that we can do in that field. By then I had already had my first job, I was about to join it, but in the back of the head I started thinking can I actually go deeper, can I actually in this field, because my field was electronics and communication, इसमें तो software का कोई जिक्र था नहीं. So now if I want to get into masters, it's going to be again in electronics or in communication or in electrical. So I was kind of apprehensive. I had second thoughts, but then I still completed my final year project and I spoke with my faculty advisor and I told him that slowly and steadily I'm generating an interest, and he was like कि तू फिर तू masters के लिए क्यों नहीं जाता, तू एमटेक कर, तू एमबीए कर, या तू फिर मास्टर्स कर कहीं दूसरे कंट्री से. क्योंकि सर नहीं, अब जॉब आ गई है, अब घर आए लक्ष्मी को मना कैसे कर सकते हैं, तो जॉब ही सही, शुरू में जॉब करते हैं, थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस हो जाए. सो फ्रॉम जून 2021 it was June actually, 28th of June, my first day. This was the same shirt I was wearing back then. I had my online orientation and everything, and I started working there. And I'll say that the manager that I got was like, this is the person who was my manager, Mr. Suraj Kharwal. This is my team I used to work with. These were my senior most people who really guided me out for the initial days. अगर ये नहीं होते तो I think मैं survive नहीं कर पाता था software industry में. And the rest of the people that you see here were under my guidance. So in my 2 years of experience, first year जो था, I was working as a GET, like assisting them in the back end work. Mostly my work was in Scala. Scala आपने एक language सुना होगा, it's very similar to Python, and using it in Spark streaming to fetch data. थोड़े मतलब भारी भरकम शब्द है, अगर आपका कुछ डाउट रहेगा तो मैं उसको बाद में क्लियर करूंगा. So integrating Scala and Spark to create backend applications and then creating the front end using Node.js. तो यही मोस्टली मेरा काम था. फर्स्ट ईयर में थोड़ा सा तकलीफें आई थी, and that's when I had to brush up again. I had to work really hard, and डांट भी पड़ी है, but these people never gave up on me. And there was a time when I started realizing that maybe I'm not fit for this industry, this software domain. Like my manager told me कि यार तुम अगर improve नहीं करोगे तो तुम अगले 3 साल तक छोड़ो, तुम अगले 2 साल भी टिक नहीं पाओगे, तुम्हें छोड़ना पड़ेगा. जियो तुम्हें नहीं निकालेगी, बट तुम्हें छोड़ना पड़ेगा, बिकॉज मैं जितना तुम्हें एफर्ट दे रहा हूँ कोई और नहीं देगा. एंड वो बात लगी. लाइक आई वाज रियली लाइक, इफ समबडी इज गिविंग टू मच ऑफ एफर्ट्स, इफ आई एम गेटिंग पेड फॉर समथिंग एंड if I'm unable to deliver, what's the point in that? Because money is recycling, right? आप किसी और को अगर वो पैसा दोगे तो वो आपको 10 गुना अच्छा काम करके देगा. अब मुझे दे रहा हूँ, मैं करके नहीं दे रहा हूँ, तो ये तो मतलब ये कमाई तो सही नहीं है. So I really had to work hard, and work hard as in like study again each and every concept. So as they say कि learning की कोई expiry date नहीं होती. So everything that I had studied during placement internship, I revised them. I started learning them. I started learning new technologies like what is Spark streaming, what is Hadoop, what is Airflow. How can we integrate them with a programming language? So that really helped. And in my second year, I finally got my own team. I was taking up projects from clients from Serbia, Russia, जो हमारे customers थे from Dubai. तो हमें उनके लिए third party applications develop करनी थी. So yeah, I got my own team in my second year, and everybody you see behind, they were all under my team. कुछ इसमें से front end पे काम करते थे, कुछ back end में करते थे. They did really good. Not as good as me, but yeah, they excelled me. And yeah, that was my office where I used to work. And this is mostly me working. This was my cabin that was assigned to me in my second year. And yeah, it was a good place. Like as you can see here, there's a camera here. So mostly these are the home automation devices that we had to design, and this were supplied to customers. And that data is something that we used to store in our app. So these are my responsibilities, like as a full stack developer, creating front end and back end applications, managing the database. Database जो हमारा था वो था MongoDB and CassandraDB, अगर आप लोगों ने नाम नहीं सुना होगा. So those are the databases that we used to mostly work upon. And creating new applications and architecture diagrams, and debugging is one part of it. Debugging तो करना ही रहता था. कोई भी आप solution बनाओ उसमें दिक्कतें आती है, तो उसको फिर सुधारना उससे भी बड़ा काम होता है. तो सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री में ऐसा है कि आपने कोई solution जो है आपने create कर दिया, आपने एक क्या कहे, आपने एक फोन बना लिया, बट फोन में दिक्कत है. फोन में तो आपने मतलब इंटरनेट से देख के आपने फोन में फीचर डाल दिया, आपने एंड्रॉइड का 14 वर्जन डाल, सब कुछ कर दिया, बट फोन में जो दिक्कतें आएंगी उसको तो फिक्स करना होगा. तो फिक्सिंग इज एक्चुअली मच मोर bothersome, and it requires more resilience than creating something. So debugging was something that was part of our daily routine. Like सुबह उठते थे हम लोग, काम पे जाते थे, applications में दिक्कतें आती थी, so we had to debug like for 3-4 hours straight. क्योंकि डेवलपमेंट won't take that much of time, because if you know the drill, आप 2-3 घंटे में बेसिक सा कोड लिख दोगे, आप उसको रन कर दोगे डेटा के साथ, तो वो चल जाएगा. बट जब आप केसेस कवर अप करते हो, यूज केसेस, कि अगर ये ऐसा हो तो कैसे होगा, अगर ये कंडीशन में लगाऊं तो कैसे होगा, अगर मैं इफ कंडीशन लगाऊं, फॉर लगाऊं, ये वो लगाऊं, तो फिर आप रियलाइज करते हो कि आपका जो स्पेक्ट्रम है वो बढ़ जाता है प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स का. तो काम करने में मजा आता है, एंड साथ ही में क्या है, आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है उसमें से. सो या दैट वाज वन ऑफ माय रिस्पांसिबिलिटीज, एंड वर्क लाइफ वाज एक्सट्रीमली वेल बैलेंस्ड इन जियो, लाइक नो डाउट अबाउट इट. लाइक फॉर मी, आई मीन, I want to sound humble, but I used to go every day at 12:30 in the afternoon. Reporting time was 10. And nobody used to question me. Like, this is a bad thing to say, but the team was so chill. But yeah, that doesn't mean that I didn't work. Like, मैं काम Like, I have to wake up at 10, finish my work, then I have to go to office. And so 2 hours of work is already being done from my end at home. So I have to go to the office, बातचीत करता था लोगों के साथ, काम वाम किया, बिजनेस टीम, हाँ कैसे हो नहीं हो, लाइफ में क्या चल रहा है, चलो खाने चलते हैं. फिर खाने जाते थे, खाने में 2 घंटा वेस्ट कर दिए, 3 बजे वापस आते थे. फिर वो 3 से 8 बजे तक का जो टाइम था, used to work really hard. So yeah, it was a 10 to 7 job, but mostly like we used to work like 6 to 7 hours. And अगर आप efficiently 4 घंटे भी काम करोगे, your work gets done, and when you have a good supporting team, so it's an icing on the cake. So work life was extremely balanced. Saturday, Sundays, obviously, holidays. And my location was at Mumbai, Ghansoli. It's the main office of Reliance Jio. If you have not seen it, it's a really big office. And yeah, it was like an entire universe in itself. Like अंदर बाकी companies भी थी, like polyester की जो डिपार्टमेंट है, एंड देन पेट्रोकेमिकल्स का जो डिपार्टमेंट है, माइनिंग का जो है, मेटलर्जी का, सब का, लाइक मेटलर्जी माइनिंग का कंबाइन था पेट्रोकेमिकल्स में. सो इट वाज अ रियली बिग ऑफ, लाइक एक कैंपस था, लेट्स से लाइक एनआईटी जितना बड़ा तो नहीं था, बट इट्स अ बिग कैंपस इन इटसेल्फ. एंड या दिस थिंग यू सी हियर, लाइक ये जैसे वॉकवे था, हम लोग चल के जाते थे घूमने वगैरह. सो इट वाज अ गुड टाइम. लाइक यहाँ पे टहलने जाते थे लोग. कभी कभी लगता था कि लोग काम कम और यहाँ घूमने ज्यादा आते हैं. एंड दिस वाज माय लास्ट डे एट वर्क, एंड व्हेन आई हैड टू सबमिट माय आईडी कार्ड, इट वाज अ प्रीटी इमोशनल डे. सो now that I'm saying good things about work, about my work experience then why would I be willing to quit my job, leave my comfort zone where I have the power, the authority to make decisions, to lead a team, come here, 11 in the morning and, with no sleep? Why would I challenge myself? Only mad people do that. So yeah, how to crack it, or did I really not? So as I just said, the 3 P's that really helped me out: practice, patience, and persistence. अपने आप में भरोसा रखो, कभी उम्मीद मत खोना, भले वक्त ज्यादा लगे, बट हासिल आपको होगी, आपकी मंजिल आपको जरूर मिलेगी. वो तो है. मॉक एग्जाम्स देते रहिए, इंटरनेट पे जाइए, गूगल का फायदा उठाइए. 50 questions based for this particular topic, 50 MCQs based on this topic, 50 data structure questions. सीनियर्स से हेल्प लीजिए जो पास आउट हो चुके हैं. And nowadays this one app called LinkedIn is blooming. Create connections. Please, please, please. I can't stress. Create connections, and with NITs जो alumni है हमारे दूसरे companies में, उनके साथ एक bonding बनाइए, because their referrals also help you a lot. Like, I know many of my batchmates who got their first job through referral, not through placement. Like they didn't get through placement, but referral बहुत काम आता है. तो उनसे कांटेक्ट कीजिए, उनको भी पूछिए कि भैया दीदी मुझे ऐसे काम करने में, मैं इस फील्ड में इंटरेस्टेड हूँ, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, कैसे अप्रोच करना चाहिए. एंड या यूट्यूब का फायदा उठाइए जितना हो सके. यूट्यूब शॉर्ट्स अच्छी चीज़ है डिस्ट्रैक्शन के लिए, बट हो सके तो जो 8 घंटे के कोर्सेज है उन पे भी थोड़ा सा फोकस कीजिएगा. इट विल रियली हेल्प यू. टेक योर टाइम, टेक अ वीक, cover an 8 hours course, practice those questions, and then go for the advanced level course. I won't say something like, pay for this course and what, because YouTube is self-sufficient. If you know how to use YouTube properly, your game. So yeah, that's it about my work. As I was saying, that why would I leave Geo? So is it just a comfort zone or a covet? Like it's some kind of just because some people, I see them on Instagram posting reels, posting pictures कि कोई Germany में है. I know many of my friends from metallurgy, they are in Germany right now. ठीक है, they didn't appear for the placement, but they went to Germany and they're posting pictures ठंडी में, and you feel like यार मैं गर्मी में जा रहा हूँ, हर दिन ऑफिस है, वो वहाँ पे मजे कर रहे हैं. Was it that, or it was just that salary कम थी? Was it like I was not getting the opportunities? Was it saturation? These are some of the questions I was pondering upon as I was working at Geo. And that's when I started realizing that I think आप लोग तो मेरे छोटे भाई बहन जैसे हो, but when I was in your shoes, I think I was pretty much 21 or 22 back in the day. So getting your first job at 22 can be overwhelming. 4 साल में वो 4 साल के बाद आपको जब पहली जॉब मिलती है, आपको पता नहीं कि लाइफ में क्या करना है. आपको जॉब मिल गई है, लाइक आप जॉब के पीछे भागते भागते फिर जॉब मिल गया. फिर अब जब आप जॉब शुरू करते हो एंड अगर आपको कुछ हासिल होने को मिलता है, भले मतलब स्ट्रगल हो, बट आपको हासिल हो रही है वो चीज़, you still feel that am I really worthy enough? And when you start feeling that yes, I am worthy enough, you start getting the question that am I in this never ending loop that मुझे काम आ रहा है मैं करके दे रहा हूँ बस खत्म, काम आ रहा है करके दे रहा हूँ घर जा रहा हूँ, वीकेंड आ रहा है बाहर आउटिंग कर रहा हूँ. क्योंकि मुंबई तो सपनों की दुनिया. मुंबई में we used to go out every weekend and it was a good life. But is it really that I wanted to? Like, did NIT Rourkela build me just that I will stay in my comfort zone and earn money? Like, money is very important, you know. I won't question that. You can never question money. It's extremely important to these times. But for a 24, 25-year-old person, getting that leverage in that age can be overwhelming. Like I started slowly realizing in 2022, I had created this roadmap here where I had mentioned what all happened in my life. In 2022, I was in a dilemma in the late October, November. That is this my destiny? Is this my calling? Because my manager, he was pretty sure कि अगर तू और 2-3 साल काम करेगा तो मैं तुझको मैनेजर बना दूंगा टीम का. तो तू मतलब डायरेक्ट ऑर्डर्स लेगा VP से. That was exciting. That's tempting, obviously, but फिर क्या उसके आगे क्या हुआ? What is it? And Geo is a company. It is a company where you want to be associated with. It's like a company which doesn't. It has a lot of perks, by the way. It's a really good company to be associated with. So I was like कि अगर ऐसा चला so मैं तो रिटायरमेंट तक यहीं पे रहूँगा. मैं कहीं जाऊँगा ही नहीं. मुझे इतने बेनिफिट्स मिल रही है. So that kind of I had this internal realization that am I not challenging myself enough? The technologies that I've learned here, no doubt about it, will help me, but इसके आगे क्या? मतलब कोई मुझे रास्ता नजर नहीं आ रहा था. So that's when I started realizing that now it's time for me to challenge myself. Like first year of NIT Rourkela, जब मैंने सोचा था कि that I am Siddharth Malhotra and the gates of heaven will open up for me, and it did happen, and I had to struggle. Maybe it's time for me to take on another struggle. It's going to be a different struggle altogether. It's going to be a cultural shock, going somewhere else, leaving your home country. But I was like, ठीक है, if nothing goes on my way, I have nothing to lose. I'll come back to the same company after 2-3 years. And I already have good amount of expertise on the field, so I'll just get some other maybe job in India. So that was my mindset when I started leaving. I decided to leave the company. Like it was already a shock for my manager as well because he was not expecting me to leave. He was like, क्या reason है तुम salary क्यों जा रहे हो या ये है वो है तुम्हें teammates पसंद नहीं. बोला कि नहीं sir, it's just that I feel कि एक saturation level मेरा अभी आने वाला है. And जब मैं अभी भी देखता हूँ ना मेरे colleagues को, some of them are excelling, some of them are working hard, they have been promoted. I still have this thought कि क्या मैंने सही decision लिया इतना दूर आने के लिए. तो उससे पहले मैं ये सोच रहा था कि why did I come here? Why did I choose Canada? And why this particular university, Western University? So this is a picture that I took 2 weeks back actually. It was snowing, it was -5 degrees centigrade. And today it's sunny though. Today it's 15 degrees so far. So आज का मौसम काफी बेहतरीन है. I think अभी तक तो राउरकेला में ठंडी चली गई होगी ना?
Yes, where it's too hot here.
It's too hot?
Yes, where.
अरे यार. कूलर वगैरह लगा लिया तुम लोगों ने?
Yes, we are searching for it.
Okay. Keep searching. Yeah. Ask your seniors. Go on Facebook. Maybe you will get some second-hand coolers. Get them ASAP.
Yes, we have a Telegram group here on which seniors used to sell their old items.
Oh, they do? Okay, that's perfect. Yeah. Good.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, get them ASAP. It's too hot. Oh my goodness, those traumas. Ugh. So yeah, good luck to you guys with the hot weather.
Thank you.
And, yeah. So yeah, now coming back to Western University and Canada. So there were two aspects of it, like कि Canada में क्यों आना है and why this university. तो Canada का already reputation बन गया है कि यहाँ पे लोग आते हैं PR के चक्कर में, कोई भी अंधाधुंध कोर्स उठा के. So many people kind of barred me from coming to Canada. They were like कि तू जाएगा तो वहाँ पे PR लेगा, बस वहीं पे सेटल हो जाएगा, कोर्सेज की उतनी वैल्यू है नहीं. But when I started researching, about the opportunities in Canada for my field, whether it's for software or for electrical and computer, there were plenty of opportunities. There were plenty of things to do here, to explore. Sure, the grass is always greener on the other side, so I wasn't that aware of it. मुझे बस एक ही direction में दिख रहा था सब कुछ. So I started searching upon the universities, and obviously Canada seemed tempting. Toronto and everything, the skyline and high-rise buildings. But more than that, one of the things I think, as I was saying, that money is everything. And this university, Western University, is a pretty good university. It has a ranking of 176 in the world when I was applying for it. Now I don't know what its ranking though. Anyway, since I'm already enrolled, so I'll be defending Western University now. Just like I defend NIT Rourkela here in Canada. Like when I say somebody कि मैं NIT Rourkela से आया हूँ, मेरे पास अभी भी NIT का कार्ड है, तो मैं कहीं पे अगर जाता हूँ, लेट्स से किसी पब में या कहीं मैं ऐसे मुझे अगर बोले कि you have to show your identity card, तो मैं पासपोर्ट कैरी नहीं करता, मैं अपना NIT का कार्ड दिखाता हूँ. And people who are from India, they are like, NIT से हो, NIT से आप यहाँ पे क्या कर रहे हो? The pride that you get, the pride that the feeling, the overwhelming feeling that you get, that being an NITian, getting recognized in a foreign land, and they are like, यारे यार आप NIT से हो, आप तो वेस्टर्न में अभी हो, आपको तो जॉब मिल ही जाएगा. तो मैं सोचता हूँ कि भाई झूठी तसल्ली से ही, बट सुन के अच्छा लगा, तो थैंक यू फॉर दैट. So yeah, Western University was my calling. And based on my research opportunities and my IELTS examination, they gave me a good amount of scholarship for that. So yeah, if anybody is willing for applying in Canada, do remember that you need IELTS examination. That's a given. There are 4 sections in IELTS: reading, speaking, English, reading, speaking, writing, and listening. Yeah, 4 of them. Just try to get anything above 7.5 will get you in any good university. तो उस पे अगर आपका प्लान है वैसे मास्टर्स का, तो IELTS दे दीजिए. एंड एक और एग्जामिनेशन रहता है GRE, ग्रेजुएट रिकॉर्ड एग्जामिनेशन. वो बेसिकली टेस्ट करता है आपका मैथमेटिकल स्किल्स और आपका इंग्लिश स्किल्स. तो क्वेश्चंस आर बेस्ड ऑन क्वांटिटेटिव एनालिसिस एंड इंग्लिश, लाइक इट मोस्टली ग्रामर एंड कॉम्प्रीहेंशंस. थोड़ा टफ रहता है, बट इफ यू वर्क हार्ड, क्योंकि उसका फीस भी बहुत ज्यादा रहता है. आई थिंक मेरे टाइम पे 18,000 था. सो एक बार में ही मुझे क्लियर करना था. सो आई वर्क 3 months फॉर दैट. आई वाज हैंडलिंग माय वर्क एट द सेम टाइम आई वाज हैंडलिंग दिस. सो या, माय GRE score was really good enough. My English score was good. I had my project. University, NIT Rourkela, बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर था. So all this kind of gave me the scholarship, and then my line of interest, because I was working at Radar and I was working on machine learning in NIT, तो वो सब ने मुझे हेल्प किया यहाँ पे स्ट्रीम चुनने के लिए. एंड जैसे आप लोग को तो पता ही होगा कि बीटेक के लिए हमें किसी यूनिवर्सिटी को अप्रोच नहीं करना पड़ता है, हमें एग्जामिनेशन देना पड़ता है, कॉमन एग्जामिनेशन. यहाँ पे नहीं, देश के कहीं, वर्ल्ड के किसी भी कोने में, किसी भी यूनिवर्सिटी में, in order to get selected, you have to directly mail the professors. You have to apply through applications. I think the applications must have closed by now. I think January deadline रहता है. So if somebody is still thinking, if somebody is in their third year right now or in their final year or second year who are feeling that they want to pursue for masters, try getting funds first of all, and try preparing for your graduate record examinations and IELTS examinations, and yeah, a project would be beneficial. तो इन चीजों का ध्यान रखिएगा. So yeah, that was one of the reasons to come here. And जर्नी डिफिकल्ट है, आसान बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, बिकॉज मैं ऑलरेडी सॉफ्टवेयर लाइन में वहाँ पे एक्सेल कर रहा था. मुझे ऑलरेडी इतनी आइडिया आ चुकी थी कि मुझे क्या करना है नहीं करना है. तो वही फिर से ग्राउंड लेवल से स्टार्ट करना मुश्किल का काम रहता है. एक तो यहाँ पे जो स्ट्रगल्स हैं, डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रगल्स. एक तो है यहाँ का ठंडी, बहुत वाहियात है वेदर. You know, sometimes it fluctuates between -10, -15, -20. Sometimes it goes above 15. I've not yet felt summer, but people say me that it goes above 20, 30, 35. So now whatever you guys are feeling there, I'll be feeling it in May. So please pray for me. So that's one thing. Culture shock. आप ऑलरेडी इंडिया में एक ऐसे कल्चर से आते हो, हम कहते हैं इंजीनियर मतलब जुगाड़. वो एक जुगाड़ मेंटालिटी से हम जब यहाँ पे आते हैं, इंजीनियर हमें एक कहावत थी हमारे इसमें कि हम आए थे क्लूलेस बट निकल रहे हैं बहुत मैच्योरिटी के साथ एज एन इंजीनियर. सो कहीं पे ये मैच्योरिटी यहाँ पे शायद उतनी काम नहीं करती. यहाँ के लोग अलग है, यहाँ का कल्चर अलग है. एक तो इनसे हमेशा इंग्लिश में बात करो, you know, so you have to develop an accent when you're speaking. So if you think I'm having an accent, pardon me, मैं शो ऑफ नहीं कर रहा हूँ. यहाँ पे लोगों से बात करते करते मेरा ये डेवलप हो चुका है अभी. So that is one thing. Adapting to a new environment, it is really tough. एक तो यहाँ पे खाना बनाना रहता है, यहाँ पे खाने का खर्चा बहुत ज्यादा है. तो you know, you have to work on that. And academics, the first and foremost thing, it's difficult because it's masters. Obviously it's going to be a deeper analysis of the studies, and since this is about software talk, so I won't deviate much because it's already 8:30. So by the way, are you guys feeling bored? Should I finish it early?
No way, you may continue.
Continue. कितने participants हैं मैं देखता हूँ. 26. Okay, it's good enough. Okay, I'll finish it quicker now. You guys might be getting bored कि एक घंटे से ये बके जा रहे हैं. So yeah, these were some of the struggles that I had in Canada, but slowly and steadily you get used to it. I think engineering ने हमें ये सिखाया कि नए environment में adapt करना सीखना चाहिए. And when you start focusing on your work, when you start focusing on your research or your projects, so that really helps you to stay focused. When you interact with different people of culture, you build connections. Those connections really help you to get a job or to get those opportunities. Because यहाँ पे there is nothing such called placement. So if somebody wants to get a job here after finishing their graduate studies, they have to get it through LinkedIn or through some job fairs. So that's a struggle. But I think the professors here have been really lenient. They're very friendly, just like they were in NIT. And they really help you with the academics. They make sure that your core stays strong. So yeah, current affairs and future prospects. So this is my university. And yeah, this is me. And as of now, I'm working on a few of the projects. One of them being a forest fire detection system. Because यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि ग्लोबल वार्मिंग की वजह से यहाँ पे फॉरेस्ट में फायर्स वगैरह बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. आग लग जाती है अचानक से, like especially during times of summer. So we are working on a solution that uses components like Node, MCO, DHT sensors, LoRa, and MQ2 sensors, to kind of detect the changes in the temperature, and according to that, it will kind of mediate the heat. तो उस पर भी काम चल रहा है. वो एक research project है मेरा. And I'm also working on because I have worked in home automation before, तो एक smart plug system का भी project है, which is using Arduino. If you have heard about it, Arduino and Bluetooth and sensors, those are tools that I'm using right now as extensions. So that's about it for the current affairs. I'll be hopefully be graduating by the end of this year, by December 2024. And for my future prospects, obviously, uh, मैं ठहरा कॉर्पोरेट का बंदा. 2 साल कॉर्पोरेट में जो जिंदगी देखी, I want to get back to it again. But at the same time, I think I still have that mind. I think back of the head, I still have that startup thing. एक बार तो टूट गया है दिल, but now I still feel that there is plenty of opportunities here right now. There is one uh, Indian tiffin service system, because there are lots of Indians here, if you didn't know, in Canada. And लोग यहाँ पे खाना नहीं बनाते. अगर लोगों को टिफिन सर्विस में खाना पहुंचाना हो, there is no application here. So we are working on an application right now, which will kind of just connect the tiffin services to the customers via our application, and will be the one who will deliver the food. Something very similar to Zomato and Swiggy back in India. So we are working on that, and at the same time, I'll be looking for a job again, just like you guys are doing right now, in the end of the year. And let's see how it goes. So I'm just taking one step at a time. And कल भी मेरा वही काम चल रहा था रिसर्च का 4 बजे तक. So I came back, could not sleep because I had to prepare this PPT. I don't know how it's not that good enough, like just as like I just created it, but I hope that through this presentation I've been able to impart some knowledge to you guys. And as the name suggests, edge, keep your life on the edge. Don't get too comfortable in a zone. Challenge yourself, and and always remember that there's always good waiting for you on the other side. So that's from my side. That's everything that I had to say. And if somebody wants to, get in touch with me, this is my LinkedIn, Saurav Chatterjee, and this is my email. So you can mail me if you have any questions, and this is my Facebook. So don't hesitate to get in touch with me. That's all from my end, sir. Thank you so much for being such good listeners, and I wish you all the luck in your future endeavors. Break a leg, और कभी भी हिम्मत नहीं हारना. एंड आप लोग NIT से पास आउट कर रहे हो, तो याद रखना NIT का जो स्टैम्प है वो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है. ये आपको जाके बहुत काम आएगा. So yeah, with that, I'll just sign off, and good luck to you guys. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bhaiya. That was really insightful. I would still say if there are any queries, people can unmute themselves and ask. If someone feels uncomfortable while unmuting, you can write down your questions in the chat box. We'll just take around 5 minutes till 8:45 if there is some query. Otherwise, we will wrap it up.
Hello, Bhaiya. Bhaiya, your story was really inspiring. I can relate majority of the things from my current college life. As you mentioned, there are a lot of things I can relate now. Bhaiya, I want to ask that it is generally assumed that the work life in corporate is very hectic. So I was very curious to know that do we get time for our personal hobbies and all, like our personal goals?
Well, it depends on the company you're associating with, and it depends on the domain that you're working on. If you're working on a plant-based job, let's say, you're working in TCS, or not TCS, Tata Steel plant, like a friend of mine, Raj Manik, he works there. So he says that the work life is really hectic over there. But if you have hobbies, like the weekends are free for you, Saturday, Sundays, just go out there, have fun. Because Saturday, Sunday, तुम्हें कोई force नहीं करेगा. That's your time. Obviously, I think, you will get time for your hobbies, like no matter how much hectic it is, because even if the 5 days of your life you are working, giving your heart and soul, you get one day at least, the Sunday. Saturday you just rest, and on Sunday you go out there, pursue your hobbies and have fun. Yeah. So yes, to answer your question, yes, you do get time. Initially you won't, but once you get the hang of it, you can.
Thank you, Bhaiya, for answering.
Yeah. I'll just take a screenshot, okay, guys, if you don't mind. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Are there any more questions that I could answer?
Bhaiya, so as you were saying to always challenge oneself.
Hmm.
So Bhaiya, after the graduation, if we are not if we are not getting placed, or if we are going directly for MSc, etc., uh, for higher studies, either inside India or outside, would that have a negative impact on us getting jobs in the future in not research areas?
Hmm. That's a really good question, Asim. So I won't say that it wouldn't. It will have an impact, but on the long run, it won't. Like if you want to go for MSc, let's say you are. So are you in your final year right now?
No, Bhaiya, in third year right now.
Third year. So if you start prepping up from now, and let's say by the end of during your final year, you start applying to universities for your MSc, so you won't have any gap, and that would not hamper any of your job opportunities in the future. But even if you do, let's say, like there is a gap you have after you finish your final year, somebody does, and then after a year they get into it. It's okay, you develop your skills, you just let them know that there were certain circumstances as to why I could not join an university. Here I am now, I have ample amount of knowledge. And listen, at the end of the day, Asim, there are many people here who are 27, 28, and they're coming for masters. There are people who have stayed at home for like maybe 2 years or 3 years. You know, they didn't do much of a thing. So there is nothing such, which would hamper it, because here we are competing with people who are 30-year-old, 35-year-olds. So at the end of the day, it's your skills that will help. And no, it won't hamper you in the long run. Not exactly.
Understood, Bhaiya. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any more questions? You may also write the questions in the chat box.
So when's the main event?
Bhaiya, it's on 16th and 17th.
18th?
16 and 17 are the main events, and
Okay.
we have the webinars coming up like 13th. Like tomorrow there's one, then day after tomorrow also.
Right. Okay. So where are you guys organizing it? TIR building?
Yes, Bhaiya, mostly there.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
If there are no more queries, then we can wrap it up.
So we will conclude this event now. Hope everyone enjoyed and gained a useful perspective regarding the field of software. On behalf of Steellun, I extend a heartfelt gratitude to everyone present here for being a part of this event. Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and insights. Thanks to all the participants too who made this event a success.
Thank you so much for joining for this event. I wish you all the luck and success. And if I may have bored anybody of you, I'm really sorry for that. And yeah, good luck. Yeah. I had a wonderful time.
Thank you, everyone.
So should I leave the call?
Sure, Bhaiya.
All right, sure. All right, thank you guys. Good luck with the
Thank
event.
you, Bhaiya.
Thank you,
You're
Bhaiya.
welcome. You're welcome, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Good night.